Lipid absorption and lipid utilization in ruminants. In this lecture, we will discuss lipid absorption and utilization in ruminant.
After digestion, fats are present in the small intestine in the form of mixed micelles. So these are the solubilized form of the fat or lipid that is known as mixed micelles. So these mixed micelles then move to the intestinal mucosa that is known as enterocytes, and then these contents they are released near the cell. The bile salts they are reabsorbed further down the GIT in the ileum. Then they are transported to the liver and finally recycled and secreted back into the digestive tract. So micelle formation, and this is the solubilized form, and then this mixed micelle move into the intestinal mucosa or enterocytes. So fatty acids, 2-monoacyl glycerol, cholesterol, and cholesterol esters, they move down the concentration gradient, mean they follow this passive diffusion in the jejunum. Once they are in the enterocyte, the glycerol and short chain fatty acid they directly enter to the mesenteric blood. So they do not follow that lymphatic system. So glycerol and short chain fatty acid directly enter the mesenteric blood, whereas 2-monoglyceride and long chain fatty acids they reformed into triglyceride. So there is a repackaging or reformation of triglyceride. Then they are packaged with protein to form a chylomicron. Chylomicron, simply you can say, okay, it contains triglycerides, 2-monoacyl glycerol, long chain fatty acids, so all that is present over there that cannot get absorbed directly into the blood. So that repacked, and that structure is known as chylomicron. They are also known as minute fat droplets. The phospholipids, they are hydrolyzed to free fatty acids through phospholipases, and those free fatty acids are then absorbed. So chylomicrons, they are absorbed from enterocyte into the lymphatic system or lacteals, and they ultimately enter into the blood via the thoracic duct. Most long chain fatty acids absorbed into the lymphatic system, whereas the short chain fatty acid they follow the uh, blood or they directly enter into the mesenteric blood. However, in case of poultry or in fowl, the lymphatic system is negligible, and most of the fat is transported in the portal blood as low density lipoprotein. So it means there is a formation of lipoproteins, and then they are absorbed into the bloodstream. The blood lipids, they are transported as lipoprotein. The alternate route for free fatty acid to enter the circulation directly. So the free fatty acid, which are also known as non-esterified fatty acids. They are usually the fatty acid having carbon number less than 12. They are short and medium chain fatty acids, and these non-esterified fatty acids enter the liver via the portal plane. So as a summary, the short and medium chain fatty acids, they enter the portal blood directly from the enterocytes. They bound to the protein or albumin in blood, and that make albumin-free fatty acid complex. They are oxidizing the liver, or they are elongated and used for the synthesis of triglycerides. Whereas the long chain fatty acids, they are repacked into chylomicron. These chylomicrons are then drained into the lymphatic system via the lacteal in case of mammal, whereas in case of avian species or poultry birds, there is no lacteal. They are directly attached with the proteins and transported to the liver in the form of lipoprotein. So the chylomicrons they drain into the lymphatics via the lacteal, and then enter into the bloodstream at the thoracic duct, that is upstream from the liver. So they have a slow entry into the blood. In the enterocytes, there is a repackaging and there is a formation of a new triglyceride. They accumulate as lipid droplet at the endoplasmic reticulum. So they are coated with a protein layer that stabilize the lipid for transport in lymph and blood as there is an aqueous environment. So as the Golgi body, the carbohydrates, they are attached to the protein, they make a coating, and that is known as glycoprotein, and they act as a signaling molecules. So these protein coated lipid droplets, they are called chylomicron, as we have discussed. So this is just little in detail. So here's the summary. What we have discussed up till now, in the lumen of the small intestine, they are the triglyceride due to lipases. They are converted into diglyceride, monoglyceride with 2 fatty acids, and finally into glycerol and 3 fatty acids. They are then packed along with the bile salt into the micelles. Then they are absorbed or they enter into the intestinal enterocyte, where they are repacked into mono, di, and finally into triglycerides. So these triglycerides and then pass on to the lymph in the form of a chylomicron. For more details, here you can see there is a micelle, there is a glycerol. So glycerol is passed on to the blood as such, whereas the micelles, after absorption, there is a release of free fatty acid. There is a monoacyl glycerol. They are then repacked in the enterocyte into triglyceride. Then there is a protein, cholesterol, phospholipids. So all they are packed into a chylomicron. So this chylomicron then pass on to the lymphatic system or lacteal, whereas the short chain fatty acids uh, they are then passed through enterocyte through exocytosis into the bloodstream through active transport, and then they carry to the blood capillaries or to the liver. So short and medium chain fatty acids basically follow this pathway, and they enter into the blood stream. Whereas the long chain fatty acids, which are more than 10 to 12 carbon items, they are bound to fatty acid binding protein. They transported to the endoplasmic reticulum, where there is a reformation of triglyceride, and from 2 free fatty acids and 2 monoacyl glycerol, simply there is a formation of triglyceride. So this is what we have discussed about the digestion and absorption of the lipid, and we have also discussed about this the absorption of this fat in case of poultry birds. There is a formation of chylomicrons, and there is a binding with the protein, that's a lipoprotein, and then they are passed on to the portal blood rather than going into the lymphatic system. So in the liver, again, the lipid is repacked in the liver into a very low density lipoprotein, and these lipoprotein, they are classified on the basis of their density. Lipoprotein, they transport lipid to the rest of the body. So very low density lipoprotein converted into low density lipoprotein with the release of one triglyceride, and similarly with the release of the fat, there is a finally formation of HDL or high density lipoprotein. High density lipoprotein is considered as a good fat. The reason being the density is based on the amount of protein and lipid in lipoprotein. If there is a more protein, the material or that particle will be more dense. So such is stuff is known as high density lipoprotein. But if there is a more lipid, so that decreases the density, and material is known as low density lipoprotein. It means low density lipoprotein contain more lipid, and that is considered as bad cholesterol. The reason being the low density lipoprotein carry cholesterol towards the tissue, whereas the high density lipoprotein, they carry cholesterol from tissue towards the liver. So this VLDL, LDL, and HDL, they are formed in the liver, and they help in the transport of the lipid molecules. So lipoproteins, they are similar to that of the chylomicrons, but because they are found in the liver, so that's why they have a little different name. So they are the lipid wrapped in protein and cholesterol. So when cholesterol is measured, the VLDL is considered as bad cholesterol, whereas HDL is considered as good cholesterol. So here you can see here's the about the lipoprotein chylomicron, very low density lipoprotein, low density and high density lipoprotein. If you look at the protein content in case of chylomicron, that is only 1% protein, whereas in case of high density lipoprotein, there is a 45%. So it transports cholesterol from cells to the liver and it's considered as good fat or good cholesterol. So free fatty acids, they are transported as complex with the albumin in the blood, lipid rapidly removed from the blood, and either it is by the liver in the fat depot tissues or the other tissues, they take that lipid from the blood. When we talk about the ruminant animals, the microbes rapidly modified the lipid. The rest of the digestion is almost similar, but at the rumen level, there is a difference. There is a lipolysis, triglyceride, they are converted into glycerol and 3 fatty acids, and there is a biohydrogenation, addition of hydrogen to unsaturated fatty acids, and that causes the saturation of the fatty acids. If carried to completion, all double bonds become single bond. So this is a feature in case of ruminant animals. There is lipolysis as well as there is a biohydrogenation. They convert all unsaturated fat to a saturated fat. So that's the reason there is a presence of a saturated fat in the dairy product, and there is a very little unsaturated fat. Here you can see as a biohydrogenation process. So there are the different fatty acids like palmitic, stearic, linoleic, and linolenic. So 8% of the fatty acids, if diet contain 26, so abomasal digester contain 29. If stearic is 6% in the diet, in the abomasal digester it's 45%, and if diet contains 17% linoleic and 31% linolenic, so in the abomasal digester there is only 4 and 6%. So this clearly indicates the biohydrogenation of linoleic and linolenic acid, and they are converted into 18 carbon stearic acid. So that increases the amount of stearic acid reaching at the abomasal level. So this is how this biohydrogenation is going on. There is the reduction of the double bond, and the result is fatty acids that are more saturated with the hydrogen. So unsaturated fatty acids, they become saturated fatty acid in case of ruminant fermentation. Here you can see the conversion of linoleic acid into stearic acid. This is just an example to know how this 18 carbon with 2 double bond linoleic acid is converted into unsaturated fat is converted into saturated fat, stearic acid or saturated fatty acid.
This is an old reference from Jenkins, who was considered as a person authority in fat. Here are the events in the rumen that modify the pool size of unsaturated free fatty acids. So this is what is going on within the rumen, where unsaturated fatty acids they are converted into saturated fat, then esterified diet lipid that is being going towards the unsaturated fat, and then there is attachment to the feed particles. There is a microbial lipid synthesis and carboxylate salts, where the calcium and magnesium salts they are commonly important. So the esterified diet lipid through lipolysis is converted into unsaturated fatty acids, and there is a formation of calcium salts or magnesium salts of fat at a low pH, and unsaturated fat is converted into saturated fat through biohydrogenation. Some of the fat get attached with the feed particles, and then there is a microbial lipid. So lipid digestion and synthesis by the microbes, what the ruminal microbes they are doing, they produce trans configured double bonds. They alter the chain length, change position of the double bond, and they produce odd chain and branch chain fatty acids. Rumen adipose tissues they varies greatly from the dietary fat. The reason being the dietary fat is converted from unsaturated into saturated fat. So if we would like to change the chemical composition or fatty acid composition at tissue level, then it could be very difficult. However, dietary fat, if it is a rumen protected, it can affect to some extent the fatty acid profile, like in case of monogastric species. Particularly when we are talking about ruminant animals, the excess amount of unsaturated fatty acid and triglycerides they decrease the methane productions. Due to a physical coating or their killing action on the microorganisms, they impair fiber digestion, and they also form soaps. Calcium salts of long chain fatty acids, they are very much important. It can bind the salts, and also there is a soap formation. They alter rumen metabolism towards propionate production and less acetate, so that's why that can cause decrease the milk fat. And also there is a production of trans fatty acids due to microbial fermentation. They inhibit lipid synthesis in mammary gland and they decrease the milk fat content. Digestion and absorption of lipid is similar to the monogastric in case of ruminant animals. So it is similar, except the fat enter in the small intestine in the different form than was presented in the animal diet. The reason is the biohydrogenation and other processes going on in the rumen. Lipid absorbs more slowly and more is transported as very low density lipoprotein. And when we talk about the ruminant animal feeding, we must take care of feeding the amount, because the excess amount may interfere with the ruminal fermentation. And if ruminal diet contain more than 8% of fat, the negative effect of fat feeding are there. So this is all about fat digestion, absorption and metabolism, both in monogastric species and then in the ruminant. Thank you.